Hey gamblers, welcome back to Shoulda Cashed Out. Today's crap strategy, we're looking at a very underrated strategy in my opinion. It's by Back Room Royale Club, Johnny Be Layin. So definitely hop over there and check out Back Room Royale. He's got a lot of good stuff going on there. Off the radar strategies that should be on people's radar. This one definitely caught my attention, and we're going to go through it. We've got a $3,000 bankroll. Win goal, 10%. That lines perfectly up with everything we preach. Okay? No different there. I love it. You're going to wait for a point. Point's 9. We're going to start out $60 level. Lay the point. It's a lot like John Patrick's ricochet boomerang strategy, where it's basically saying, okay, you hit the 9. What's the odds chances of you hitting the 9 again? So let's say, but he also takes it one step further and puts out another lay if another one of these numbers rolls. Say the 5 rolls. He's going to put out 60. So they're same level. The same level. Okay? But here's the caveat. If like a horn number rolls, he takes that down. But let's say the 5 rolls and then the 6 rolls. It'll move over here. Okay? Then the 8 rolls. Moves it over here. If it gets hit, you're going to go up by $60. Okay? It has a progression. They go up by 60. All right? But when you think about it, I know a lot of y'all are hesitant on progressions, but when you really think about it, what are the ways that this strategy could go down in flames? A hot shooter, right? Someone who's just constantly hitting the point, right? That's really the only way this strategy crashes and burns. So what we can do, we can make a minor adjustment if Johnny's cool with it. If a shooter hits a point, we're going to just take our stuff down and we're just going to wait. We're just going to wait. Just a small, tiny adjustment, which I talked to Johnny about. He loves it. And then we're going to see how it works. Okay? Should be a lot of fun. I know some of y'all don't like laying against the shooter, laying against the point or whatever, but you know what? I know Snurtles is going to blow me up on the math and all that, but overall, in the long haul, 2 out of 3 shooters cannot hit the point. That's reality. I mean, it's a little under 2 out of 3, so we're kind of rounding it up. But basically, 2 out of 3 shooters cannot hit their point. And that's what we're going to prey on. Okay? So, we've got $3,000. And at the end, we'll give it a grade, see if it's ready to take to the casino. We'll talk about scaling, because I know a lot of y'all don't have $3,000. And we'll discuss that also. So, let's get into it. If you're finding us for the first time, please subscribe. Love to have you on a permanent basis. If you're returning, like always, we'd ask you to like, hype, and comment. So, here we go. Let's do it. Let's get a point. Johnny Be Layin. Aces. Johnny does talk about he likes to evaluate the table before he does it. He likes to evaluate if it's a cold, hot, choppy table. He's kind of looking at the table conditions before he even puts money down, which I definitely can get on board with that. 549. All right, so $60. I know y'all are going to bitch about the VIG. here's the reality. Let me cover that real quick. Sorry. The VIG is different on each of these bets. I realize that. Okay? Me, no new guy. What we're going to do, we're trying to win 300. I'm going to win more than 300 and we'll take the VIG out of that. Okay? So let's just play it, stay on track. I know y'all are going to be like, oh, you can't just ignore the VIG, or we're going to pay it at the end. It's going to be okay. I promise. Here we go. 628. All right, so we're going to get our other layup. And we're playing that those two numbers are not going to come again. 437. We're going to win 50 on the 8, 40 on the 9. I know other YouTubers have ran this out, and it's nothing against those guys. They're not typically a dark side or hybrid style player. And so I don't think they quite really understand how powerful this is. And that's not a shot at them, because we all play different. You know, it's rare that I'm pure light side, you know? So there's the 538. Also, I didn't talk about it, but if we're going up and progressing and then we get a win, we reset all the way back down to base. We don't step back down. It's a full reset. We're going to play to the strength of the 7 and the non-repeating numbers. 549. We're going to slide the 8 over to the 9. Okay, it's just a traveling lay. Here we go. 617. So that's two shooters that haven't been able to hit the point. So we're going to keep track of that as well. 50 for the 6. And 40. Now, straight away, you might be worried about, having to constantly give the dealer money for the lay bets and whatever. And Johnny answered that issue. Just give the dealer $5, the person right next to you, and say, hey, just use that $5 to move my lay bets around, whatever you need. Take it out, replenish it, just hold on to it. At the end of the shooter, that's basically your tip. So you can tip them like that and just have them use that money, or you can sit there and toss them dollars each time. I like just giving the dealer, hey, here's some money. Just take what you need for the lay bets and all that, so you don't have to ask me every single roll whenever I'm moving it. 437. And if you don't like doing that, play it on a roll to win. You can move it around all you want yourself. Bubble craps. We'll talk about the scaling at the end. 426. And we got our $60 lay. 628. $60, no 8. 516. All right. The shooter hit the 6. We're going to take our 8 down. What I'd like to do is just let this shooter do his thing. He might be hot. He might be hitting a lot of repeaters, hitting a lot of points. He's already proved he can hit the point. So let's just wait and see. Okay? 516. Good thing we didn't go back on the 6 to avoid the repeater. So I know Johnny would probably maybe want to go out and lay the point again, but let's just see what happens by waiting to see what this shooter ends up doing. 6-2-8. And there's no rule at the table that you 4-2-6. There you go. This shooter is not going to take our bankroll. I'm not going to let him. He got it once. He got me once. I'm not going to let him get me again. 4-2-6 again. The shooter is definitely on fire. We're avoiding him. 6-1-7. All right. Let's get a point, and we'll see how this shooter does. 5-3-8. So we got whacked on 60, so we're going to go up to, well, let's evaluate. We're up $120. We don't need to go up. We're in profit. Let's just go back to our starting bet. Here we go. 6-3-9. All right, now we're going to get that 9. No 9 for 60. 4-2-6. That 6 is straight fire right now. 4-1. Oh, I should have moved that to the 6. I'm sorry, I slacked on that. And then the 5 rolled. Move it there. I just got in a groove. Sorry, it happened. You know, I get in a groove because I'm loving laying against certain numbers that, especially if they've already rolled. So that's my bad. If I get in a groove like that, there's the hard 6. Don't really like moving to the 6 because it is straight fire right now, but we'll see. Here we go. 6-3-9. I'm going to scoot that sucker over to the 9. 5-2-7. $50 on the 8. And good old $40 for the 9. A lot of y'all probably aren't a fan of playing against the shooter like this, but we'll talk more in detail at the end. We're up 100, 175. We get a green. We're up $210. All right, here we go. Coming out. 4-2-6. $60. No 6. Here we go. Aces. So we're not putting out the other bet yet. 6-4-10. $60. Here we go. 4-3-7. It's going to win 50. And then that'll win 30 on the 10. We'll check out the rack. 100, 200, 275, and 15, $290. $290, folks. Here we go. All right, so we got to be cautious because that was the second shooter that couldn't hit the point. So we may be at that third shooter that can hit the point. So we're going to take it very smart, very cautious. We're still going to trust that sort of math holds up. And that doesn't mean I need y'all to blow me up on the math in the comments. I get it. This is one of those, in my mind, 2 out of 3 shooters cannot hit their point. So since we're super close to our profit goal, I'm going to do a small pivot and not lay against any other number. I'm just going to keep it on the point. Here we go. 426. All right, see what I was saying? We got to use caution because we already saw two shooters not hit their point. So we're going to wait. We're going to let this shooter do whatever he wants. If he goes on 200 rolls, whatever. Don't care. All I care about is the following shooter doesn't hit his point. That's all I care about. 516 again. Jeez. Yo, 11. 527. All right. So that shooter hit his point one time and then didn't hit 10. There we go. 639. We're still super good in profit. We're right there on 60. 1609. Here we go. 538. There we are. 1608. 6410. Slides over to the 10. Looks good. 617. You're going to win 40 on that 9 and then another 30 for the 10. Let's check the rack. So we're up 100, 200, 275, $300. We're up $300. Let me get a green for that. There we go. Now, so we don't hear any complaining about the VIG, here's what we're going to do. I'll show you what we're going to do to get y'all's VIG money that y'all are probably concerned about. 426. We're just going to go 30. And when we win that, there's y'all's VIG money. 213. 516. All right, we lost the VIG money. All good. All right, that shooter hit the point. We're just going to chill. We're going to wait. 538. We're just going to wait. This shooter may be hot. Yo, 11. 538. Yep. We're still chilling. Midnight. Aces. 617. Yo. Aces. Geez. Let's get a box number already. This makes me kind of nervous. We're not rolling any box numbers like this. 6, 4, 10. All right. We're against the 10. 60, no 10. 4, 3, 7. All right, so that's going to win 30. So we win back our 6 that we lost. That's a shooter that couldn't hit his point. Here we go. 415. We'll try it again. $30 to win the VIG money right there. Jeez, shotgun. All right. We'll wait. And honestly, if this was really my money, I would have already left. I'm just kind of doing this so that we're not hearing complaints about the VIG. Because, I mean, right now, we were up $300. maybe $15 in vig, you would be leaving the casino right now. Midnight. 5-2. 6-4-10. $60. Here we go. 6-1-7. It's going to win $30. All right, where are we at in the video? 20 minutes? Yeah, we're good. 100, 200, $300. 300 simoleons. Come here. Here. 25 for the vig. Done messing with it. So $275 winner. All right. Valuation time. So straight away, my first impressions of this is going to be good. I'm very excited to show this. So let's give it a quick rating. So if I'll put the graphic on the screen right now. This is all based on kind of our personality, how we feel. So your F is your hard ways, C is the field, B is the 6 and 8, A is the lay 4, lay 10, and then of course A plus DC. This is without a doubt an A plus. There is no question it's an A plus. If you don't let one shooter just sit there and pound the point or pound repeaters, this sucker is amazing. But you have to have the table awareness of this shooter is looking to be hot. They're hitting a point. They're hitting repeaters. Don't let that shooter take your bankroll because there is a massive chance that the following shooters are not going to be able to do what that shooter just did. Okay? So if you're playing smart and not letting one shooter kick your teeth in, this is really good. It's very, very good, actually. I've played something similar, laying the point, and it's always done really good for me. The fact that Johnny's adding in a second lay bet and moving it around works terrific. It's a very, very smart way to play. You also have to have the discipline. $3,000 bankroll, we're looking for a 10%. Leave. And honestly, if you get up like, if the first two shooters can't hit their points and you get like 50 and 40, 90, and then another 90, 180 off the first two shooters, I would recommend just leaving. I mean, that money don't get any easier than that. Because the chances are the next shooter, the third shooter, is going to hit a point, and then you're at least whacked off $60. So you're down to just 120 in profit. You can also pivot out of this and play with profits if you're wanting to do that. If you don't like just laying, getting your money and leaving, and you want to kind of play with your profits, what I would suggest, get up to like 150, pocket the 75, and then play with the 75. Go 66 inside and pocket the rest, if you're wanting to just play longer at the table. Scalability, I know 3,000's a lot, but guys, you can do this on bubble craps super good. It's a little tricky to avoid the hot roll on bubble craps, though. So what I would suggest for bubble craps, so let's move over to, because I know I've got a lot of bubble crap people. So for bubble craps, you're probably looking at a $200 to $300 bankroll. Let's just say a $300 bankroll. So just cut the 3,000 by a tenth. So 300. So now you're going, let's say the point's $9, $6. Okay? Then let's say the machine rolls the 9 again. You lose. So now you're thinking the machine might be hot, but in order to get it to roll, you got to have money at risk, right? So I would recommend going down to just $3 and then letting the machine go, and then just travel that $3 wherever. Or if you think the machine's going to go on a hot roll, just grab you 3 numbers. Just grab 3 numbers, play it out. When it sevens out or whatever, you lose. Now you go up to $12. It works on bubble craps. You just have to, if you think it's a hot shooter, you need to be able to have a plan to kind of pivot with either laying $3, like just reducing $3 just to let it play out. Because the next shooter, again, probably going to not be able to hit the point. You know, it's likely. Yeah, there's going to be back-to-back shooters that hit points, but you got to play with what's the chances of that, you know? So it's for a $10 table, you can easily go $30. These would be 40. You'd have to start at 40 on the 4, and then 30 and 30. 40 on the 10. And then just go up by 30s. And that sort of bankroll $1,500. Looking to win 150 and leave, you know? You know, bubble craps, $300 bankroll. Try to get you $30, $25, $30. Print the ticket. Very, very, very good strategy. It's extremely underrated. I do plan on playing this out more and more and more, especially on our lives, so that people can really see it, ask questions, and we're able to just work through situations. So it's super good. Look for it more on the channel. And Johnny, great stuff with this one, man. It's definitely a winner. So it gets the A+ for sure. So it is casino ready. Looks great. We'll play it more and more. Until next time, be excellent to each other.